We see that the retail industry and grocery specifically are facing a number of challenges when it comes to modernizing their network to meet their customer expectations. So I think we tackle that and see this in twofold. One is back of house operations, the elimination of mundane tasks, or to create business functions that have more maturity. Let's take real-time inventory as an example. With grocery, you have inventory leakage, you have issues with perishables. Really understanding that the market has changed, that the consumer expectation, when you go to pick something off the shelf, it has to be there because you're now interacting with your guest at a remote location. So it's no longer good enough to do inventory management in a batch style fashion end of week or even end of day. It has to be real time. Not only that, but how you reach your customers, third-party delivery services, buy online, pick up curbside. Grocers, historically, grocery stores are designed to have you walk the perimeter, and there's a reason for that. Well, when you're remote and you're buying things, that floor plan isn't necessarily the most efficient. Pickers aren't going to walk past an end cap and be indulged like a traditional shopper. So now you're leveraging the legacy floor plan because you still have traditional shoppers that want to enter your brick and mortar location. And you're also having to build efficiencies for those pickers. So technology goes into all of those factors. And anytime we're going to start to implement additional technology, whether it be an inventory robot or whether it be self-service kiosk or something of that nature, it requires transport, it requires network, it requires connectivity. And that data and that access can exist anywhere today. It can be in the cloud, it can be in your data center, it can be at the store level, it can be on that consumer's phone. So how you present a reliable, secure, and resilient network infrastructure that's highly performant is critical to grocery operators today. Fortinet has taken the approach around convergence. That's our story. Our founders believe of the convergence of network and security. And what we're finding is that story, that platform-based approach, resonates with retailers and grocers across the country, across the world. In order to create a broad and integrated and automated environment for grocers, you want to have a system that can apply policy and security access at the closest point of ingress as possible. And what we do is we build our own switches, we build our own wireless access points, we build our own cellular routers, and those integrate into that firewall. So the firewall is now the controller for your switch infrastructure. It's your controller for your wireless infrastructure. You can apply extremely robust security policies at the closest point of the device or user as possible, and it's extremely efficient to do so. Grocers are now having to really modernize their network infrastructure. That pretty much has happened over the past 36 months. The pandemic forced a lot of rapid evolutionary change, is what I would say. But now what we're finding is that we really call it the always-on customer experience, the always-on connected store. Your stores can no longer go down. 10 years ago, if you had a network outage at your grocery location, you could still do order fulfillment. You could still meet the customers where they expected to be met. They were walking into your store. You probably did a very marginal piece of business if you were doing e-commerce or buy online 10 plus years ago. But today, that's no longer the case. I have to be able to interact, or any consumer has to be able to interact with your brand at any time from any location. There's something like 18 billion cellular connected devices are going to exist by 2025. And there's only, I think we're close to 8 billion people in the world. So the network and the transport and what you're connected to matters. You can only fail the consumer so many times before they're going to go down the road to another competitor if they're servicing that area. And that's becoming real inside the grocery landscape. The competition is growing. There are a lot of nationwide grocers that are delivery services only. So there are additional competitors in the marketplace now. And I think that making sure that you're protecting that experience, providing the always-on connected store in a secure and reliable fashion is critical in today's grocery market. Something else to really consider is the role and some of the tools that we're starting to see out in the retail landscape is computer vision. So it's really taking, video analytics and applying a set of data analysis that can be as simple as heat maps and floor planning and understand what end caps make sense where and where you can move different items and what's attractive to consumers and what isn't. We see this in the front of house. We see this in back of house when it comes into inventory leakage, making sure that the inventory is being handled properly on delivery services. There's a major grocer over in the UK that's doing this at a small level, and there's some grocers in the United States that are doing this as well. You really start to get into some interesting things when it comes into GDPR and the right to erasure. And these solutions, they can go all the way down from a computer vision to customer sentiment, right? Well, I like to say that you can change your name, you can change your driver's license number, you can change your credit card, and if you really had to, you can change your social security number, but it's very difficult to change your face, right? So we have a responsibility to ensure that that data is encrypted, that there's no linkage there to that customer. It's only used as a tag that can be wiped at the end of the day after that data set is used.